there are authors who I'm sure would think that the success of their first book is a matter of creative life and death, that they don't want to venture out until it's completely perfect
Yeah.
because they don't want to take that creative life or death risk. And they are the people who say, well, if this sentence in chapter 17 that I don't think I've burnished to its utmost, I'm going to spend another month or two on that. And I think you're not advising that. But also, I'm assuming not advising just slap something together and, head out. Because I think the danger of this kind of advice is people interpret it as a pass to just put anything out there to get that first book out. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, every author's different, and I do know some authors that have slapped some stuff out and fumbled through and tried to make it happen, but I personally wouldn't recommend that just because you're not building the best experience for the reader or really for yourself in that situation. Everyone's got their own path, but for me, that won't work. So when I first started writing, my two criteria really that kind of allowed me to publish my first book, the first one was the only thing I wanted to achieve from that book was to write a story that I was proud of. And so I was my target audience because my first self-published book, it was a case of my son was, I think he was 1 year old at the time. And the only thing going through my head was like, I always liked writing. I've seen that this is possible and I want to have a book on my shelf that I can show my son one day and go, look, daddy's written a book. And that was really the incentive that kind of got into my publishing journey and helped me produce that first book and put it out there. But then the other side of that is perfection. It's a very dangerous game. And we all have dreams of what that quote perfect book would look like. But perfect just isn't achievable. Perfect isn't ideal. It's not an actual thing that you can grab because one thing that I've learned, especially from my writing, is a bunch of my earlier works that I put out, I've since unpublished because of how much I believe I've grown as a writer. And I want to go back and rework those and sort of re-edit them. But you learn that the best that I could achieve in the beginning, and I gave it everything to the point that I was happy enough to put it out there into the world. As you grow as a writer, as you get better, like you're going to learn lessons, you're going to evolve, you're going to learn new things, and you're just going to adapt and get better.